Good afternoon, everyone. How we doing? I am your host, MJ, along with my other host, my co-host, Angie, and we are starting the Golden Power Couple Power podcast. Uh, we are two health and wellness people that love to help seniors, right?
Definitely, yes. We get back also to the community because we know the seniors have been long striving and trying to get through and transition to a more graceful lifestyle.
We want them to say, basically be healthy so that way they can see the grandkids, play golf, do things, be active in the community. There's a lot of people who are inactive and the body starts to shut down. A little bit about ourselves is that I am a certified personal trainer now, just getting my license in February of 2026 with NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine. However, Angie is much more experienced in health and wellness, being a registered nurse for 1 or 2 years, right?
Yeah, as you can see, Michael talks a lot. I can speak for myself. All right, I've been a registered nurse for 40 years in the business. I'm also a health and wellness coach for over 20 years. I specialize in more of a holistic approach, natural. Even though I am a registered nurse and dealt with medications, I'm not heavily into that. I prefer letting the body take a more natural healing healing process. And I'm not right now currently teaching at a college, and I'm teaching nursing students.
Now, we can say the state, can't we?
You can say the state.
Okay, it's
Mm.
Florida. Gee, what a shock. And Ashley, you're seeing the shirt that I'm wearing. Of course, it says the Tampa Tribune. And a little about my background is that I was in the newspaper business for many years. And people don't remember newspapers. In fact, Tampa Tribune does not exist anymore. So that's, when looking for a new career path. And I wanted to do personal training. So, and there's a story behind that, but Angie, what made you become a nurse? Start that.
Since I was little, I can remember my mom being into natural magazine called Prevention, and, it was pretty much just seeing how natural herbs, using peppermint and opened up the nasal passages, cinnamon seemed to quell the stomach along with ginger, natural things like that. Also, since I was 7, I said, "Oh, I wanna be a pediatrician." Pediatrician, yeah, I've worked with kids and just helping people, and, my favorite subjects in school was science. So, yeah, learning about the body and things like that, so been in it for so long now, I don't know anything else.
And you wanted to start with kids, and here we are working with seniors, which
Yeah,
they're kids at heart, right?
yeah, that's right, that's true.
So my thing is that I wanted to become a personal trainer years ago because long story that I have is that I almost died from a stomach virus. And that was back about 11 years ago when I came down with a bad stomach virus, had to be taken to the hospital. Blood pressure was 60 over 30. That's about the point where you sell, right?
Oh,
When the stocks get that low, you sell,
well,
right? So, and my kidneys failed. I was brought into the hospital, and I had a team of wonderful nurses and doctors. They jumped on me like a fumble and pounced on me and started working on me. Got me stabilized. Doctor came in, said everything is going to come back to normal for you. Yay! And he did say that he says, for someone that's in your age, you're in incredibly good shape. I said, thanks, doc. I said, I work out about 5, 6 days a week in the gym. He said, keep doing that. That's the reason why everything is going to come back to normal. And that's why we stress the importance of getting in the gym. You'll say, "Oh, I do housework," like my mother used to say. Yeah, my mother did not. She did not work out. Her housework existed about a half hour of maybe dusting, and that's it for the day. And that's all she did. And she died relatively young. So, and any stories like that in your family, Angie?
now what I just wanna touch upon, Michael talked about housework being a form of exercise. As a nurse for all these many years, a lot of my nursing peers would say we work long hours, we're constantly on our feet, we walk up and down the units, and that's a workout when it's really not. Like Mike is saying, you have to make you physically go out there and you're doing the cardio, you're doing the strengthening and the resistance with the weights. It's not the same. So, and a lot of people think that it is,
Mhm.
just a normal day-to-day living. So that's why we're here to guide you and to give you pointers on what the body needs and requires so that when you do advance in age, that you're going to be able to maintain normal activities like the walking, to being able to feed yourself and dress yourself, and preventive when it comes to having, as they say, old age. So now you have high blood pressure, high
Mhm.
cholesterol, cardiac issues, arthritis, things like that. You want the body again to age gracefully. So it comes with you putting the work in.
And one thing that we should probably point out too, look, a housework is a type of exercise, but you don't want that as your sole exercise regimen. You want to have some discipline, add some weights in there, some stretching, some balance exercises, weight resistance training, those type of things you want to add in there. Look, the government says that you should get 150 minutes per week of exercise, whether that is aerobic exercise or just even walking or running, jogging, anything like that. 150 minutes is not also, let's put something stressful, or some Florida could be going out on the golf course and being that way. Play golf 3 times a week. Okay, that's good. That's one thing that's good. What do your students think about, maybe helping the older generation and their exercising and stuff like that? Do
Let
they
me
think,
jump back to something else. You're
sure,
talking about
sure.
exercising. In relation to housekeeping. So most people, as a woman, it's going to be usually up to the woman to do the majority of the housekeeping. And it's usually, oh, it's Saturday. It's time to clean the house. So with exercising, again, that yes, what Michael, I agree with him that you can during cleaning incorporate it, an exercise routine. But generally speaking, exercise routine is a couple of days per week. What is it? Usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing. And you're going
Sure.
to do at least 30 minutes as at the simplest form of exercise. Cleaning, it's not that structured. It could be, but it's not. Now back to the question in regard to my students. I teach high school students, so we do have courses where we deal with the elderly, and tell them I showed them some Tai Chi, and they know about the diet and exercises, and encouraging someone with an advanced age or who has health issues what their limitations are, but at the same time letting them do self workouts. Don't go and do everything for them. If they're able to bend down, tie their shoe, we call them range of motion exercises. They want to be an active participant, not passive, where they're going to sit there and let my nursing students or any nurse just do all the vigorous movement of the arms, extensions, and things like that. The saying is if you don't use it, you lose it. So yes, my students understand that.
Oh, and let's get one thing too. The old adage in weightlifting and thing is no pain, no gain. No, we understand if there's pain with you, there is no gain either. But we don't want that. But to be healthy, to avoid all the injuries and things like that. You want to have some movement in your body and your arms. Angie's explanation of all of that was fantastic. So, and yoga exercise, that is one thing too that we'll talk about. We'll talk about resistance training. Like I said, we're going to run the gamut, podcasts or subjects and what we can do throughout. So that said, what other thoughts do you have on your background that we can add to this?
Basically, it's what Michael said in a nutshell. We're both here to make sure you're transitioning to a more healthier lifestyle as you age. And we're here to guide you. Besides my nursing and knowing the body and what nutrients and the oxygen and the sleep, my also being a aromatherapist slash hypnotherapist, I'm really into again whole body, mind, body, spirit, soul. Just making sure you connect with your body. You listen to your body. Body is very smart. It's going to tell you what is wrong and what's going on, and you have to listen and to love yourself. That's number one. Because if you don't care about yourself, you're not going to try to take these steps to improve upon your lifestyle.
A little bit more on what I do in the gym myself is I'm in the gym 5, 6 days a week, but I'm doing a lot of resistance training 3 days a week and then splitting it up with cardio. But I'm doing 45 minutes to an hour every day in there. And don't think that because, I'm getting in there in the senior age and, that's the reason why we're doing this is the fact that my body doesn't hurt either. So I have to listen to my body as well. I got back issues, sciatica, the whole thing. But it just doesn't let me stop. We're going to move on with some stretching. Of self myofascial rolling is one instance where that can actually help you with any kind of sciatica. It's like Seattle, sciatica, anything like that. And it has helped. It takes a little bit of that edge off. The worst thing for me, and this may be you too, is the fact that if I have to fold clothes, which I know nobody likes, but I'm not making up excuses, that really will hurt. But then I'll go into the gym and bench press, you know, 165 pounds, and that's okay. So it's weird like that.
Well, it's not to say the weird. What I teach my students is if you're moving and lifting a patient, you know this, Michael. It's the way you lift. You bend at your
Yeah.
knees. You're not using all your back muscles and stuff like that. So normal activities, again, that we do in our daily life with modification can always and still be done, no matter what your health condition is. So you have to prevent illness and strains and just any weaknesses, you have to compensate for it.
You know, and that is one thing too, when you do any kind of weightlifting or any kind of resistance training or anything like that, that actually will help with that possible in the house tweak that may cause back injury type thing or a little
Mhm.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Well, right. You're going to continue to guard against certain movements that, oh, I haven't did that movement in over 30 years. And
Right.
now you think you're going to jump out of bed, which I know you're not jumping out of bed, gracefully get up and attempt to do this maneuver when you have to ease into it, gradually go. Because even we're going to talk about just walking daily. Yes, good for the circulation. You're
Mhm.
moving muscles in your legs, and if you add in your arm, that's good. But a normal walk, you're going forward, here to toe. Our hips will not flex out. And we're noticing as we get older, there's going to be rigid and stiffness within the flexing of the hips are rotating joint. Then it's not going to rotate because we don't do that actively.
Right.
So again, everything is a gradual process and we bring it to your conscious level that this is what you have not been doing. So we're going to ease you back into it to help you. So that stiffness with your back now, maybe it was the lower legs, maybe it was your feet, maybe it's your posture. I tell Michael all the time, put your shoulders back, chest out, okay? Because that's again the whole core. You want that area to remain strong and strengthened.
Right. Of course, you need comfortable chairs, which we do not have. So one of the other things we'll touch on those hip rotations, that balance, the stretching of your muscles and things. And that actually helps you. Angie brought up a point about waking up and you don't jump right out of bed. No, you don't. But you don't want to wake up and get out of bed and it's like sore already because you slept funny on your yourself or your neck injuries. And those are things that being active can help. Uh, so,
Yeah,
right.
that's pretty much everything. Again, please, you listen to our advice. Heed also the words and instructions you get from your medical provider. We're not here to supersede anything they tell you.
Right.
Uh, we're here at your limitations, but to make sure you consult with your physician and do what you feel is in your capacity to do. Don't say, "Oh, wow, yeah, now I'm gonna jump up again and dance a jig or lift the 20 weights," or whatever Mike does in the gym that, "Oh, yeah, Mike does it," when he suggests, "No, that's not what we're saying." And we're open to suggestions. There's gonna be comments. This is gonna be like an open forum, but again, with our knowledge and expertise, we are here just to improve your overall, physical and, at times, mental well-being.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough about your physician and what he says or she says. I've had several doctors in the past, ones that'll say you shouldn't be doing that much, but I had one that was in, Fort Myers, Florida. He was great because he said, "Yes, go out to the gym, go out to the gym." And that was not the doctor that was when I was in the hospital. Other things too, we're only offering we'll have some nutrition tips and things like that, but we're not dietitians. Don't follow that. This is just, we might give you a couple of recipes that are healthy recipes for you. We may say what breakdowns of fats and oils and protein and carbohydrates, things like that, and what's good and what's bad. And what to watch out for. We may even share the world famous salsa recipe that I have that may come down the road that is required by Miss Angie to make once every 2 weeks. So that is a requirement by her since, we've
With
been
thin
together.
chips.
With the thin ch oh, yes, the thin salsa chips. But, man, you pick out those tortilla never mind, we're not gonna go into that. We'll go into that with when we get down the road and how we're doing on the podcast. But, it is I think this is a good introduction. We may have some more things coming up, but, we do appreciate you all listening, and, we'll have a future email where you can ask questions for us as we go along. And we'll be happy to share that. And you can ask any questions that you want and help us with ideas. And we'll be more than happy to relay that. And we hope that you all will stay active, stay well, and enjoy life. So thank you, everyone. Anything else, Ange?
Love of self, peace, and blessings always.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.